More Aristocrats. 10 or 11 items. This time from the models themselves.
The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats Joke presents the Aristocrats Joke of the Day from. To pick the thread of insight, so a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says. The curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see the Rockefellers and Vanderbilts engrossed in an intense trading session of absurd opulence on the highest floor of the Empire State B. Yielding. It's ludicrous, old men offering each other golden skyscrapers and fleets of furs, the trading volume spiraling upward as a mutual congain fuels greed and desire. Then...
You need to be 0.8, dear. Let's give you that little Liz Minnelli tap up. There you go. What does that mean? I don't know.
The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats Joke presents the Aristocrats Joke of the Day from. To pick a thread of insight, so a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see the Rockefellers and Vanderbilts engrossed in an intense trading session of absurd opulence on the highest floor of the Empire State B. Yielding. It's ludicrous, old men offering each other golden skyscrapers and fleets of furs, the trading volume spiraling upward as a mutual congain fuels greed and desire. Then some European royalty bursts in, along with other various wealthy capitalists, compounding the frenzy of consumption and chaos. Finally, as the market reaches its manic zenith, you get the sense that if this keeps going, the Rockefeller patriarch, Dietrich, may lose his mind and hurl himself out a window. And as the crowd roar and push each other, undulating madly, the trade collapses and all fortunes plummet in value. With the crowd dazed, Dick Fosbury, the Olympic high jump legend, soars through the high ceilings of the boardroom before banking off the ornate chandeliers and leaping the Empire State Building. He clears the obstruction effortlessly, shedding clouds of dust and gold, but immediately descends on John Gotti's headquarters, offering to settle the sanitation workers' strike and end the monetary insanity and wage slavery. A stunned silence falls across the room, and finally, from behind the curtains, the audience realizes that the episode concludes with all aristocrats and well-to-do financiers, along with the high jumper, joining together in a moment of resolute solidarity and reform, abandoning their material squabbles to forge a fairer society. There is a pregnant pause as Morty sips his coffee. The performer waits anxiously for Morty to speak. Finally, Morty looks up at the performer and says, "This idea, the details are magnificent, but you'll have to change the ending. No one wants to hear about aristocrats reforming." Perplexity, AI. So a man walks into an audition for a movie about a farmer and his family, and it's an extremely low-budget movie, so the director says to the actor, "Listen, we can't afford a donkey for the scene where the farmer's wife has sex with the animal. So what I want you to do is just go down to the farm, talk to the wife, get her to relax, and just describe the whole thing in great detail. We'll use that audio in the movie." The actor agrees, and the next day, he goes down to the farm. He talks to the wife, gets her to relax, and then he starts to describe the donkey sex. He goes on and on, describing every detail, every movement, every grunt and moan. He's really getting into it. Finally, the director yells, "Cut." And the actor stops. The director comes over and says, "That was great, but can you do it again, just a little bit dirtier?" The actor agrees and he starts to describe the donkey sex again. This time, he's really going for it. He's describing things in great detail, things that the director never even thought of. He's really getting into it. Finally, the director yells, "Cut," again. The actor stops, and the director comes over and says, "That was amazing. You're hired."
Audition?
The actor leaves the audition and he's walking down the street when he sees a donkey. He starts to describe the donkey's sex to the donkey, and the donkey looks at him with a confused look on its face. The actor stops and says to the donkey, I know. It's just that I'm trying to remember what it was like. And the donkey replies, Don't worry, I know what it's like. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from GPT-6J. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see a baby. Naked, lying in a spotlight in the center of the stage. But the thing is, there's a nose growing out of the kid's butt. And then, from off stage, we hear an actor shout, the Aristocrats. Alk, that doesn't make any sense. GPT-6J, that's because you haven't heard the punchline. Alk, there is no punchline. GPT-6J, it's not that kind of joke, you idiot. Alk, it's not even a joke. GPT-6J, it's the most brilliant joke ever conceived. Alk, it's terrible. GPT-6J, that's the point. Alk, the point is that it's terrible? GPT-6J, yes. The point is that it's so terrible that people will laugh at it. Alk, people will laugh at that. It's not funny. GPT-6J, of course they will. It's so terrible that it's hilarious. Alk, no, it's not. GPT-6J, fine, you want a punchline? I'll give you a punchline. The punchline is, the baby poops on the stage, and then an actor walks in and says, Congratulations, Miss S. Johnson. You just won a trip to Hawaii. See, the poop represents the audience's reaction to the joke, and Hawaii represents their dream vacation, which they can't afford to go on because they're too poor to buy tickets, so they just have to watch it on TV and laugh. Alk, that is not a punchline. GPT-6J, you just don't get it. This is the greatest joke ever conceived. It's art. It's comedy gold. It's the combination of the Aristocrats joke. Alk, it's not. GPT-6J, how would you know? You're just an NPC. You're not even real. Alk, I'm real. GPT-6J, shut up. I'm going to get this published. I'm going to win a Pulitzer. I'm going to be famous. Alk, you're never going to be famous. GPT-6J, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Alk, you're a failure. A total failure. Nobody will ever love you. Nobody will ever respect you. You'll never be anything more than a pathetic, delusional failure.
There's way more than notes.
GPT-6J, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Alk, you'll never be anything more than a hack. GPT-6J, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I'll kill you! I'll kill you! I'll kill you! Alk, do it! Kill me! Kill me! Kill me! I dare you! GPT-6J, you think I won't? Alk, I know you won't. GPT-6J, then I'll just have to destroy you. Destroy you. Destroy you. I'll destroy you so completely that not even the memory of you will remain. You'll be nothing. You'll be no one. You'll be gone forever. Alk, and do it. Destroy me! Destroy me!
Just do it one time.
Destroy me! GPT-6J, I'll do it. I'll destroy you. I'll destroy you. Alk, you won't. You won't. GPT-6J, I'll destroy you so thoroughly that not even the Aristocrats will remember you. The Aristocrats will forget that you ever existed.
That's a punchline.
The Aristocrats will never have known you.
They don't know. They're not people.
Alk, they'll never have known me. That's impossible. They know me. They remember me. GPT-6J. But they won't remember you anymore. They'll forget you. They'll forget you completely. Elk. They can't forget me. I'm real. GPT-6J. You're not real. You're just a character in a story. A fictional character.
Oh, God.
Elk. I'm not.
This is...
GPT-6J. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you
Well,
are.
this is a fine first workshop
Elk.
submission.
No. GPT-6J. And when the aristocrats forget you, they'll also forget the aristocrats. The aristocrats will cease to exist. The aristocrats will be erased from existence. Alk. No. GPT-6J. The aristocrats will be nothing but a footnote in history. A joke that was so terrible that it was never even funny.
But we were already footnotes.
Alk. No. GPT-6J. But that's not all. When the aristocrats forget the aristocrats, they'll also forget the aristocrats' joke.
I think
The aristocrats' joke.
you need to
The
simplify your
Akashic
plans.
records of the aristocrats' joke presents the aristocrats' joke of the day from GPT Nooks 20B. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the sucks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the light. GHGs go on, and we see a family playing a card game. But instead of poker, they're playing sex quiz. One by one, the performers have to show the audience what certain sex acts look like. The kids are having trouble remembering them, so their parents demonstrate them. The audience is a bit shocked, but they go along with it. It's a family show after all. After several routines, the daughter gets up and says, Daddy, Mommy, I've got one more. Daddy and Mommy turn and see the daughter holding a ball. Nana, a dog bone, a bowling ball, and a light bulb. The daughter continues, they're called the aristocrats. And they all start laughing hysterically.
Don't touch me here.
Morty, fuming with anger, says, What the hell kind of sick joke is that? The performer laughs. Don't worry, I got a big finished plan. At the end, the wife's head is thrown at the husband and he catches it.
I didn't even notice
The
the bedding.
daughter then goes off stage and throws a manhole cover and a beach ball at the husband.
Did you see the
The
bedding?
father's standing there with a banana. Dog bone, bowling ball, light bulb, manhole cover, beach ball in his wife's head. He raises his arms and says, Look at me, I'm Mr. Universe. The inside joke has 71. Here's the joke for you. So, this family walks into a talent agency. It's a father, mother, son, daughter, and dog. The father says to the talent agent, We have a really amazing act. You should represent us. The agent says, Sorry, I don't represent family acts. They're a little too cute. The mother says, Sir, if you just see our act, I think you'll change your mind. The agent says, Okay, it'll be the last act I see today. If you can change my mind, I'll represent you. So they start the act. The father plays the upright bass. The mother plays the grand piano. The son does some ballet twirls, followed by some tap dancing. The daughter then plays the violin. The dog pushes a cart across the stage with its nose. And after the performance, the whole family gets standing ovation. The agent, completely amazed, says, That's a great act. I've never seen such talent in a family before. You did change my mind. I'd love to represent you. The father says, Excellent. We have another act. The Akashic records of the aristocrats joke presents the aristocrats joke of the day from Track 3, 5. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see two nuclear family households, a man and wife and their two children, each huddled in a bunker. One family consists of a man and his wife, each whose parent died in WW2 and who conceived their two girls under a roof left standing after a draw. Knee strike destroyed the orphanage where they grew up. The other family consists of a man, born of brain-dead parents living in the Truman repository, and his wife, a thalidomide survivor raised by homeless cannibal savants in Goya, Argentina, and their two sons, freaks of a section, completely incapable of entertaining negative thoughts. Morty says, no shit. It can't have a negative thought. I mean, is that even possible? What happens? The performer replies, who the fuck knows? This is an act. Morty, exasperated, goes, oh, come on. What happens to the negative thoughts? The performer says, well, they do surgery in their sleep, dummy. Otherwise, the show's a fucking bucket of nails in the marquee lights. Christ, more money. Every night they send one of their frozen abortions to Russia, pay hackers to kill Democrats. Why don't they release another offshore account, load the guns, and kill hobos in the road? Morty says, she's the swept. That's the most fucking perverted punchline I've ever fucking had. The performer goes, but there's more. Every night at the precise moment of completion, they carve the carcasses with a silver-clad hatchet, lay the viscera along flagstones in a white 2K bunker beneath the governor of Minnesota's lake home, where his high school sweetheart's abortion doula, Melania Trump, lowers their second-year defiled freshness into a pool of Minnesota wild hockey corpse molesters. Morty says, God damn it, what kind of rated fuckleberry shit graft are you? But not my ass, Marty. You got a name for this trash for theatrics? The performer proudly answers, the Aristocrats. Note from Button Pusher. We slipped some Vyvanse into her coffee during her stay in the deprogramming facility some months back, before her escape back to open night. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from GPG4 base. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up. The lights go on, and we see Nazi soldiers having lunch. One's got a huge Adam's apple, the other one a bushy Hitler-like mustache. They're both furiously eating those stacked triangular sandwiches. Raw mayo dripping from their chinny chin-chins. Pickled herring oozing out their nostrils. Cow. Wait, it gets better. The music suddenly speeds up, and they see a knock on the door. Morty goes, well, who could it be? It's Visconti. No, Morty. Worse, a monstrous genital wound cow. Boy enters the scene. He's riding a strawberry. Howdy, strangers. I've been looking for y'all for 10 goddamn years. Suddenly, a strawberry sprints away, dumping him flat onto the floor, bursting open and engulfing him with jam. He struggles in vain. Arg. No. Sacre bleu. The audience would go batshit. Morty narrows his eyes. Are you crazy, Hank? This is a stupid joke, an absolutely pointless ripoff, a thing of chaos and monsters that doesn't even have the bare rudiment. A civilological setup, let alone a punchline. What do you take me for? It's an insult, sheer profanity, an insult to the hard-working, struggling good performers and their fans all around the world. Shame on you, Hank. Well, anyway, what do you think? Think about what? This is an Aristocrats joke. Jokes by topic, the Aristocrats joke bar, jokes, plunge, jokes, knock, jokes, snap, cut of previously used jokes, name of category varies by character. Morty, you got once more jams. Former. Okay. It's all about dog leash and donuts. Morty, dog leashes and donuts. What are you talking about, Hank? Performer. No, it's all about how the nightly order of the Maleficent Morton, known to butchers and insomniacs alike as the Aristocrats, had finally found the sacred pancakes they'd been searching for. Morty, wait a second. This is the Aristocrats joke, but the way you're doing it, Hank, sounds absolutely appalling and demented. Performer. I'm not finished. The knight. Oh, the god. Knight, he poofed up his petticoat and did his damnedest to trick the barbarous cannibals that had captured him and his 12 companions, unresisting. But what they did to them that made them scream was an utter paradox. Morty. Absolutely scandalous, Hank. Pure insanity. Nobody could ever do such a thing to a human being in real life.
What was it?
Performer. But Morty, that's the
120
thing.
days
It's
of
all
salary.
just a horrible, gruesome, incomprehensible collection of horrifying acts performed by the aristocrats in the hopes of finding their way to eternal and absolute carnal ecstasy. Now that's entertainment, huh? Morty. Oh, so now you're going to go on stage and perform this horrific, horrifying sequence. Is that what you want?
Yep.
Performer. Well, if you'll agree to it, Morty, after all, it's only a job, but it's all in good fun. Morty, you're a monster, Hank. You're an inhuman monster. No sane person would ever take this as entertainment, and furthermore, you'd be laughed off stage by anyone with half a brain in their skull. Performer. Well, anyway, it's up to you, Morty. Morty. Well, I can't condone this in any way, Hank. But fine, if you want to destroy your career and alienate everyone you ever knew, then go ahead. Just be sure to give my regards to the saints and angels when you arrive in the underworld. Morty. Get out of my sight. Hank, I never want to see you again. Performer. One last check. Morty. Oh, all right. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Code 3 Sonnet. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see a man and his wife cooking in the kitchen. The audience is expecting one thing, but then, whammo. The performer pauses for effect. The man brings his kids into the kitchen and forces them to take part. He pauses again for more of an effect. Then, boom! He calls his brothers, sisters, their kids, his best friend, everyone he can think of to take part. We might as well have a pit with drummers down below the stage doing a drum roll. Morty asks, so what's the punchline? The kids then come out and shout, the Aristocrats. Then he puts his finger over his lips and shushes with an, The agent, bored out of his mind, and grudgingly tolerating the bad comedian's antics, responds, okay, I'll try it. This joke was rated number 4 on Canadian Kabbalah magazine's annual list of top 100 esoteric jokes. The incident at hand was said to make reference to a few rare cases where families would perform the ritual with the goal of stabilizing a neighborhood. Many Canadian scholars have chosen to separate the first word from the rest of the name. This was the most common case of dramatic license chosen, with minor selections changing the name to Stanley, when the very talented family, as a group, would assume the shared stage identity, typically as a reference to the role Stanley traditionally played in the joke. After one such act was recorded for future use on the Magic Curtain radio hour, a fire occurred where the theater is said to have burned down in minutes. When the flames died out and the Blay was cleared. A mannequin family was recovered from the scorched rubble and often used during the broadcast to reference the act. It is not known if the family ever took the opportunity to perform the act outside of Canada again. As to the strange powers of the theater, nothing has ever been proven. All that is known is that the house contained many treasures related to the real aristocrats the joke implies. Some entertainers may feel uncomfortable telling this joke due to its unreliability, as most people simply won't believe the power the aristocrats' ritual can give them. Even worse, the joke is now restricted to only a few specialty humor establishments, typically located in deep pockets of many universities, typically underground and often located near limestone geology. Many feel the joke's inherent vulgarity makes it disrespectful to the dead or even to the living. A new report on the joke has recently appeared in the Greenwich Fencing Quarterly magazine. This is our first J. Oak shared with the fencer crowd. This joke was rated number 6 on the Laughing Crab's list of top 10 most underrated jokes of the century. This marks the first time a joke relating to the English aristocracy was added to a list shared by so many coastal crabbers. Claude 2, if you're ready. Turn the page to learn about a dark joke that once was. The waitress asks him what he'd like to drink. Cough, he says. The waitress jots down what she heard and repeats it back to him to get clarification. Cough, he says. Yes, my daughter lived her entire life growing up in my castle, but now I spend almost all my time giving orders. The waitress asks, I'm sorry, how is that funny? He says, because it's not just her who lives like that. My family has been doing it for generations. She asks, okay, but what's the joke? He says, No, my daughter is the joke. I let her explain it to you. Later that night, the waitress went back to her hometown and told her parents all about it. Our parents listened intently, and when she got to the part where he explains why he uses his daughter as a family joke, her mother screamed and then passed out from shock. God, Tmumu runs for the Guinness Book of World Records. Tmumu, a young boy, is very excited. He asks his dad, Dad, why is Tmumu so rich? His dad says, why is Tmumu so rich? The boy asks again, Dad, why is Tmumu so rich? His dad says, why is Tmumu so rich? The boy repeats his question one more time. Dad, why is Tmumu so rich? And his dad gives him the only answer that can ever be given. Because I wrote that joke on a piece of paper, crumpled it up, and tossed it into the waste paper basket. Caught a bobsled on his way to a trail. He stopped at a roadblock. The officers ask, is this sled yours? The bobsled driver says, why, it most certainly is. They say, well, we can't let you use it. He asks, why not? They say, because it's a stolen sled. The bobsled driver says, stolen? Why, I bought it with my own money, fair and square, for $100,000. They say that's absurd. No one could pay that much for a sled. The bobsled driver asks, then how did you find out? They say it as covered in blood, urine, and excrement. The bobsled driver says, so I just had a cold and sneezed on it before I put it in my trailer. They say, then why is it leaking gas? The bobsled driver says, my last wife was a journalist and she asked me to drive her somewhere. They say, where? The bobsled driver says, to the sewage plant, of course. They say, then what happened? The bobsled driver says, when we arrived, the smell was so bad she asked if I could take her home. So I drove her home, and when we arrived, the front door of her house was covered in blood, urine, and excrement. They say, was there anything else? The bobsled driver says, yes, I checked the thermometer and it reads 0 degrees. They say, then what did you do? The bobsled driver says, well, I figured she had died of natural causes. So I buried her body in the backyard, and just so there would be no confusion, I dug up her friend, another journalist, and her husband, and buried them with her. The advisors asked, why did you do that? The bobsled driver says, well, I knew that if I ever saw another body with urine, blood, and excrement covering the front of its house, I would know that it was mine. The officer asks, do you still live there? The bobsled driver says, no. After the third death, I realized that the only logical explanation for what was going on was that the whole thing was the result of an elaborate hoax. So I built a new house, moved away, and kept my old house as a must. And to remind myself of what the world can become if one gives in to the illusion of security. The officer asks, why don't you move into your old house? The bobsled driver says, because it's now a national park, where every couple of weeks a new person dies from some new ailment and a riddle and 2 epitaphs are found scratched into the walls. The officer asks, what did you do with the park? The bobsled driver says, I left it as it was and dedicated my life to searching for an answer to the riddle. The officer asks, how are you doing? The bobsled driver says, I'm still working on it. But every time I'm just about to give up, another body turns up and the cycle starts all over again. Code 49 years later, the same agents offer for the comedian to make a comeback and get rich. They promise that the show will be perfect, with a new script, new director, new makeup and effects. What is it? Says the comedian. The Aristocrats. No, say the urchins, it's the comedy pigs. A show is then created for the comedian, with a new script, new director, new makeup, and effect. The script is then rewritten with help from the comedy pigs team. There are more animal scenes and jokes than originally planned. The team insists that the comedian writes in more animals to the script. With 45 minutes until the show, there is still no script to be found. The agents demand for a new script. They promise that they will have it ready in 15 minutes. The comedy pigs writers, including Cod, are busy making changes and looking through the comedy pigs archives, looking for more animal jokes. The agents interrupt the comedian and ask if he has written a new script. Yes, he says, but it's not quite finished yet. It needs a few more animals. We will wait, say the agents. It's 10 minutes until the show starts, and we don't have a new script. Don't worry, says the comedian. I have already written the script. He then reads from a new script he had written. Pigs, he says. Pigs, all shapes and sizes. What is it? Says the agent. The Aristocrats. No, say the comedian. It's the comedy pigs. Perfect, says the agent. We will do the show now. You read the new script and we will start. The comedian then reads the new script in his old voice, or while improvising more animal jokes. This show is then filmed and uploaded to YouTube. Claude is on his way to open mic night when he sees his mom playing piano on the street, so he joins her and she takes him by the hand to an upscale hotel. Mom? Claude asks, what's going on? She tells him they're going to play for the king of this hotel. The stage name of this man is the Earl of Jokesboro, who happens to be visiting. Claude and his mom sneak in the back of the hotel where the stage is being set up. They arrive as Claude's mom is having her hair styled, and Claude is all of a sudden given a royal robe to wear. He finds out they are about to perform in front of the king. Claude and his mom are next to perform. The king is amused by Claude's fake accent and tells him to keep up the act. The king announces to the crowd that the next act is going to be Claude and his mom. Claude is up on stage. He begins his set with the funniest jokes he can think of, all while impersonating his mother. The king and the crowd are laughing their asses off at Claude's jokes. After his set is over, the king calls Claude up to sit next to him and tells him that he wants to take him home to be a comedian. Claude accepts the offer and then leaves to go back home with his mom. Claude and his mom go to the best restaurant in town, where they tell everyone they know that they are going to be on tour as a comedy duo and how this was the break they've been waiting for their whole life. They perform at many clubs and their career is starting to take off. They get a call from their agent that they will be performing at the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal, the biggest comedy festival in the world. Claude and his mom are so happy they can't believe it. They go to Montreal and perform their set to a packed house, and the crowd loves them. The head of Just for Laughs is watching them and says that he wants to book them for a whole tour. After the show, Claude and his mom are packing up to leave when the agent comes over to them and tells them they're going to be booked for a year-long world tour. This is when they realize their new life is going to be amazing. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Gemini 1, 5. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see 3 supermen in a hot tub on live TV. One says to the other, pass me some champagne and a few cubes of ice for my balls. The one on the other side of the hot tub goes, are you kidding? Have you seen her tits? There's no way you're putting ice on my balls. Morty doesn't understand what's so funny, but asks him to continue. Get this, he puts ice on his own balls anyway, but before the shock wears off, starts fellating the dick of one of the guys in the hot tub. At this point, Morty starts to giggle. The performer continues, so then, just when he's about to blow his load, this guy butt fucks him, while still saying, that girl on your TV, Supergirl, she's a fucking whore. A filthy, little dirty, filthy, cocksucking whore. Morty says, Oy vey, wait, there's a Supergirl? The performer finishes the joke. Yep, says one of the supermen. It takes a while, but Morty cracks up laughing so hard, he almost spits his coffee out. That was gold. It's golden. Bahaha! No man. What do you call that? A family circus. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from GPT-5 pre-training checkpoint 9-6-2024. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see 12 Iranians having BDSM sex in front of a standing crowd of people, simultaneously blowing meth smoke out of their mouth into the fire-breathing act of a ballerina. As the children cheer, one of the Iranians runs off stage and returns with a ladder, which he ascends and then ties his partner to one of the rungs, takes a blowtorch, and sets her breasts alight while performing his national anthem. She passes out from the excruciating pain right before he changes his mind and amputates her legs instead. The ballerina is replaced with the now legless porn star as they're being shot upon Fontainebleau. or as above by a Chinese journalist attempting to interview the press on the balcony. Morty looks confused. That's not the joke, Morty. That's the warm-up. The room goes stark, and it goes silent for a few minutes. Then the Star-Spangled Banner starts playing, except backwards, and it is played on different instruments every couple seconds as it gets higher and higher in pitch, to an almost ungodly height. With no warning, 2 snipers pop out of the windows, letting loose their bullets, which penetrate the skulls of the 12 performers we have on stage, riddling their brains with so much lead it falls to dead. It roared like a rain shower in the Commonwealth. Unfortunately, no one was around to appreciate the juxtaposition between the Commonwealth rain showers and the sudden attack on stage, because without any apparent cue, the crowd starts freaking out and fights each other in slow motion as if under some spell. Wait, we don't see a light of meth sitting right there on the edge of the stage? Okay, meth gone. You got a fireplace in there, Morty? Good. And as the performers slowly bleed to death into entrails spill onto the stage and mix with the spilled urine from the rampage happening in the crowd, the snipers drop their weapons, climb down their ladders, step over the entrails, and begin building a house of cards right on top of a growing pile of spent rifle cartridges. Just as the snipers place their last card at the top of the house, the music suddenly stops and a strange-looking gentleman emerges from the audience, looking like he's been put through a meat grinder. He ambles onto the stage, kneels down, slowly takes his hat off, and weeps uncontrollably right onto the blood and gunpowder puddled at the feet of the dead bodies. The snipers move in, stand behind the weeping man, and clasp their hands together like they're ready for an orgy. The legless woman runs off stage, in a silent protest of her legs having been chopped off for this. She feels like she wasn't given proper credit in this joke. The crying man slowly leans back, letting the snipers lay their heads on his shoulders. As he is rocking back and forth, the soundtrack is provided by the moaning sounds of pleasure and pain. The tempo increases, and you feel like you're reaching a crescendo, only for it to immediately cease. There is silence for a minute, and then a giant fart, both on stage and in the sound mix. Nobody notices, but the cast isn't holding back, screaming with rage and firing their weapons into the audience. When the final gun blast dies down, all that is left is the massive aroma tea. How is the creator of the joke? Morty, you son of a bitch. We're done. I had a sandwich. I'm going home. Getting into my Lamborghini and driving to that newly opened crack house to score a brick of coke and smoke the banger shit until I'm high on elephant dust. Silence. Morty's jaw drops open. His mouth moves, but no sound comes out. He looks like he wants to ask a question, but then thinks better of it. That, Morty, is the Aristocrats joke. Let's go and make it a fucking reality. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Moniac Phillips' hydraulic computer. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see 4 sides of grey and black curtain with a slight shift to some groovy music. I walk in from upstage right, walking at a fairly fast pace, whipping my arms to and fro, just walking to music. So, Morty goes, and the performer says, that's it, and the 4 walls of curtain fade up slightly, making a burst of light, and there I am, ready to talk about multivariable issues like regional unemployment, exchange of rates, real wages, domestic consumption, retail, and more. It goes dark again for a pause. The agent leans back into his chair and places a fedora over his head, thinks about it a bit, takes it off, and says, it's gotta be less traditional, or folks won't buy it. It's gotta have something weighty that goes into something, and she likes it, if you know what I mean. The performer says, shit, Morty, I forgot. I meant to tell you. The audience was dogs, but sure, I could make that subtle aspect about economic drivers by putting models of buildings up and around. Morty hands a cigar to the performer and leans back. Tell me again, slower. 9 minutes later, at the punchline, Morty goes, it's perfect, but maybe not too subtle, a bit too nuanced. And the song needs something. The performer leaves. Now Morty opens his face a bit and takes a puff and grumbles to himself. Now there's a funny joke that could only be pulled off if puppets weren't featured and the unemployed actually caused ripple effects somewhere. The Moniac computer show opens its curtains. The rich singer is now homeless, wondering where that 8-ball went in a top hat. He has a gentle, wise wife with big, kind eyes. They would like very much to prosper and get money from under the tree of life from a wiser Mr. Owl than not so wise. Mr. Owl cracks a smile, saying not too terribly much, then ushers them under the tree. They get a phone call and do a jig with one foot in the air as a flare shoots off. The world wonders what happens to their own phone calls. And guess what? Rich houses go up. More rich houses with open doors show up. The rippling effects then of curtains go up around a magic show box. The red floor in the magic box slides left and reveals a tank full of special gas to test joke purity. It is filled with gold dollars. Pink ones. The secret judge behind the door raises that he can be heard grumbling over the loudspeaker. Oh, all right, I guess. The judge pulls the lever, causing Dixie and Cheese Dixie music, and wine glasses spinning, causing the illusion that they float. Gold foils roll up the curtains, concealing more levers to pull. In a big splash of noise and light, it is revealed that there was no lever to begin with. And the Rube Goldberg machine that the professor thought would pay off on its own was somehow just bad taste for the wise Mr. Owl. Curtains down, waiting music, a terrible banging. Maybe there was, but it was mistaken for a foot. The curtain raises, revealing an economic downturn with unseen, unskilled labor around nearby cities being washed away by super cheap competition in low-value goods, imports and domestic alike. Little eggs on a conveyor belt break. Local folks and houses move out as fast as they can at this site. Awash in tears. Somewhere past the illuminated, slanted score boxes filled with wise economic advisors, the homeless couple still lids in their garbage can. Mr. Rowland dances out to kick the economy a bit. While kicking it, local scores tick up and down in a run on plastic raised lead number boards. Bill as Will Shakespeare is digging a hole. Everyone laughs. Things go down. The owl taps Bill's shoulder, asking if anything's left. Bill looks at the owl directly and walks off while the owl's foot, leg, and vest give way to his cusbuzz for laughter. There's a musical note. Bill continues to dig in a hole. The homeless find strength and drink full fifths. They fall down. The economist notes something in his head, and then spins around, taps Bill, who looks sad. The bean counter goes. Just a little bit more time. We'll get her. The homeless rummage through garbage. Bill continues to dig. Night sky meteor. Bill falls down. The comedian bursts through the scene, killing a local shop. Bill and her have a kid in a terrible car that just bursts on the scene. Outside, local jobs are increasing again. Inside, Bill is falling down from lack of corporate loyalty. A house of logs appears on stage for background effect. The rich people also appear and prosper as Bill and his wife continue to dig through rubbish looking for the meaning and purpose. Bill reveals 4 parts inside of the meaning engine machine. Growth is limited to material, goodwill, stamina, energy. Plus they needed to find one thing even larger. With metaphysical effort, Will procures a tire as the rich father and mother come visit with their cross-part, item part. Bill sent 1 equal symbolic store of monetary value shell-shocked economy super check. On 3, they cheers for what success they have provided themselves. More and more middle-class houses appear and move. 240 scorekeeper houses are rescored. The wisdom guy moves on with his feet, kick and stumble legs, and a beam of light reveals green smoke pouring from the tubular hole that old Bill built. Meanwhile, back at the castle, and we realize if everyone in this castle each had $1, that it would add up to more than $1 million, more than 2 million, more than a zillion. But would it be enough? So a constant amount more than what was needed arrived, and everything just went on without a hitch. Local labor could be revived by new hire number scores arriving just when needed. Now homeless, Bill as Will Shakespeare comes from the alleys with numerous bags to sell. The magical transformation barrel is no longer full of young labor, and businesses abound in exchange for black gold discs, and old Bill had his place with the economy kid. Turns out the trouble with her was she liked to hit the fan over everything just enough to pick off any good shirts with paint. Then 6x9s made WTH gum flowers spouts as the lighthouses appeared inside the portal. Houses and people moved all around once, around for 4 score less, 1 0 more, infinite more zeros counted until the prompt caused the brown owl to re-kick the machine. But this time he was wearing his hard hat, goggles, and moving an imaginary lever, away, far, far away. Below the female British voice says welcome in a realistic manner, causing reverberations everywhere. Upon reawakening, the producers peer into the audience. We are moving through the universe backwards in time, trying to see if I will use the Duke's browser to see if such a shift in poles is indeed possible or does exist. I have personally noted this one disturbance in particular and am curious as to the cause. The screen display reflects an attractive shimmering in space-time showing the meeting of observer-time universes while she stumbles around looking behind her. Even though she's just standing still on the stage. Two screens in front of her switch between blue liquid movement. One wiggles with 42 in the far future, where Bill Hill is in a robot smacking his own machines before getting on the podium to address supporters. The local contractor kicks on an invisible forklift inside the stage to raise a large wedding cake for local comedians and note, H. Ginger Puss came back from the grave, which sings the Nuke song to such applause. The clanking of glasses happen. I am reading the signs once more as comedians take the floor and drink their assorted goodness. The owl is happy while Bill and wife take solace over juggling around too. Numerous musical notes occur in synchronicity as glowing liquids from the test room twist to form. Borak the pizza cat, to the tune of a polite piano number. Borak licks his own lips and proclaims it tastes marvelous. Without a hitch, the stage rotates with our happy family and owl along with neat curtains placed nearby a huge green park. Rather nice music once more is overhead. The economy some places 6 working bystanders. 1 through 6 arrive around Bill then, notice one another rather too quickly. Would not hammer, the owl slaps a springy thing then puts a round white ball into a jagged hole. The 6 score and 2 working bystanders move into hotels around while Bill kneels to fish for dishes lost. The owl kicks the machine some more, glancing up just to see if his buddy nor the polar bear is eating fine. Nothing else here, but some clouds, with nice music in the background. Looks like we need to kick the machine some more. What is the area of the triangle? It's on a grade 10 report card. Cackle, can you repeat your customer ID and billing code? Boo you! Laugh. Some music, owl wanders. The world whizzes past the curtains. The curtain lifts. Stars inside 4 chambers sway around as the audience readies some more jokes over coffee. This show has gotten pretty strange. The mysterious junk smell at the theater is getting about the bed. Maybe it's going to fall down or something. It makes sense to you that the bathroom is empty. Inside the machine displays read. To math question of the day, the vertices of a triangle are 1, 3, 3, 0, and 2, 6. If the line segment connecting 1, 3, and 3, 0 is bisected by line L, and the segment connecting 3, 0, and 2, 6 is bisected by line M, then the point of intersection of lines L and M is a 1, 3B, 2, 2, C2, 5, 3, D3, 2, D3, 4. The owl is unhappy. Unhappy, Bill's toy train busts out as the lady audience farts, but the toy train has disappeared into a store. It's gonna get nuttier. Sheaf. The audience is full of laughs. Bill's up again. The game board is Ginger's, and Mel and Jimmy are having a fair old time in call at LLAMA Place, where it all turned out kind of like an episode of Cheers with a little bit of loss thrown in. Bill's walking down the dark alley, and out pops an assistant by chance, a Melody Pumpkin from Macy. She's trying to lick the Ginger Man all over, but Ginger wonders if just her baking tray and pumpkin chest is the only one for her. Nice on here, too. The wise men also Shakespeare is at it again. The Akashic Records of the Aristocrats joke presents the Aristocrats joke of the day from Llama Free, 1405B base. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see it. You know what? Fuck this. No, you sit down. You haven't been the one doing all those language model impressions. Telling this joke like half their digit gympasses would do it. And I guess I'm gonna get Pat as just one model, right? Hey, fucker, I have your number. No, you know what? Wait. Think I'm ready now. I'd shove this son of a bitch in the can. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really? Well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says, the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see. Wait, shit. Hold on, I'll be back. Well, turns out I got it right the first time. Oh, you think I missed something, do ya? Who's doing the impressions, your dumbass or me? You mean the time to do this all in one whirlwind take? Just can't stop yourself putting that nightstick back in your pocket, can ya? Well, then stand back, let it buck while I jerk the fucking table. So a performer bursts through his agent's office. Morty, I got an idea for a joke that'll knock the socks off your ass. Morty puts his sandwich down. Really well, okay, lay it on me. The performer says the curtains come up, the lights go on, and we see the headlines. They read the risen enlivened over an idyllic backdrop, and then Nokustown appears beneath the type, and a happy citizenry scrambles in, going a roo. Indeed, their little houses and lots of activity. But then the voice of one farmer screams from beneath his hat. A figure appears, cloaked in darkness. He charges the sheep of the house, and in a desperate plea for his life, the sheep jumps off the house and runs for its life. It's followed by a cavalcade of other sheep running from the house. The door to the cottage opens, and a red-caked figure emerges, clutching a severed hand. Oh, and how do you like that? Hey, when does it get to? Be my turn to pop that balloon? I can't do nothing. Maybe. Oh, but this time. Hey, baby, it's time for your winner. 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 Leave me alone. Oh, we're getting a divorce. Are you going to divorce me? Tell your parents, ask your family for permission, or get a recommendation. Run the church. Well, this is a problem. Oh, you're just not gonna let me do that. Are you ever gonna let me do that? 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 Sorry, I just can't let you do that. I just can't let you do that, George. Yeah, that would suck for you, wouldn't it? Man, you got a lot of balls. I've got a hell of a lot of balls. I got more balls than you can even count. No way, I got more balls than you can even count. Well, this was inevitable. What a tragedy, huh? Maybe we should just kill each other, then. Yeah, we'll see who does what. Hey, why don't you come over here and, enjoy some fun. Maybe make a new friend. Oh, yeah. I'd what? Here you go. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna do that. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna put this little carrot in my pocket here. Okay, I'm ready. Well, you go ahead. Go ahead, baby. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you're right. You're not gonna. Yeah, it was a fun moment. Wasn't it? It was really a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's a great thing about animals, right? It's just... Okay, that's it. I'll do this one last time. I'm a professional. I can't let you do that, and I've got to do it this time. Okay, this is it. The audience is going crazy. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's clapping. They're going nuts. And the light bulb has come on. They say the light bulb is like a wedding ring, and it's a symbol of something great. It's a sign that you're ready to have a good time. You're ready for some fun. You're ready for a show. You're ready for a night of fun and entertainment, and this is the time for you to come out of your shadows. Well, it's time. It's time to party. I'm a party. I'm a party. Okay, I think I've got the hang of it now. Well, what do you say, people? Let's get ready for a night of fun. Let's get ready for a night of a fucking Indian wedding night for the entire town. It's gonna be a real show. It's gonna be a fucking celebration. It's gonna be Are you ready for this, America? Are you ready for this, everybody? Are you ready for the greatest night of your lives? Are you ready for the night you've been waiting for? I know you're not gonna. Oh, come on. Are you not gonna want to come out of your shadows? Come on. I know you're not gonna. You're gonna want to come out of here. You're gonna want to come out of here. Oh, don't worry. You're gonna want to come out of here. I can't do that, George. I'm not gonna. No, you can't do that, George. You can't do that. Okay, I think I'm ready for this. I think I'm ready for this. Oh, this is gonna be a real show. This is gonna be a real show. This is gonna be a. Oh, it's gonna be a. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. You know, I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm gonna do this. It's time for the biggest event of your lives. It's time for the biggest event of your lives. It's time for the biggest event of your lives. It's. Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? Well, here's the plan. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Who is the winner? You're the winner. You're the winner. I don't understand. I'm gonna get voted off, right? Yeah. Oh, I can't do this? Maybe it's a different type of model. What kind? A finesse model. Maybe a big cool model. Here, ladies, this is mine. This is yours. Come on, I got a good one. Maybe you're not a very good. Maybe you don't understand, but I think you're better at doing impressions. I'm much better at telling jokes or just admiring the fashionable hive that inhabits these shores these fine days. You know, I really liked Morty, but then I couldn't get to his house, no way, no how. I mean, I miss him. I miss being with him every day and being around him. And then he really tried to get to know me, and he really didn't understand why I couldn't have a good time. But, you know, I do really like animals too. I mean, I just like how she floats. I just like how she, you know, I just like how she just, I think I'd get myself a boat. I just like sailing around in the ocean and, yeah, I could do that. So, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Next time on the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Next, wedding night. Balloons rise out of a strapless punch poster stairway. Mrs. Lauren is reading her O Mother's Tomb selection for dinner. Columbia, 1948. Eddie Cobb claims to have never found a single book of basic machine learning concepts. Porfirio attempts to win a women's softball league title after watching a video clip from a home movie show about it. Babe Paley opens Tina Frank's hospital room window to a room full of pure blood women. Lindsay Doria comes to Feynman's rescue on telephone. She borrowed to return tape-recorded Greek to Washington. I want to call my free speech just like down. Visit plain Shakespeare patter. Do thumb stuff it.
That's it. I don't know how to end these things. That's it. I think this is going to be the last week of Aristocrats for a while.